Hello and welcome to the Billowing Hilltop podcast. I'm here with Johnny. Hi, Johnny.
Hello.
Thanks for joining me. Now, Johnny, what is the Billowing Hilltop?
Well, that's an ancient legend. I know the origins.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you're the first person to know. Okay,
Well,
keep going.
the others should know, really. I mean, back in I think I was thinking about this, probably the late 70s or early 80s. I had a character called Marcus Doombringer.
The famous Marcus
He was a
Doombringer.
very powerful wizard. So it wasn't a sorcerer, he was a wizard.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, 28th level or something ridiculous.
The only non-sorcerer you've ever run.
Yeah, he was very powerful. He had a couple of iron golem bodyguards, but in those days, people used to sort of threaten each other.
Yes.
The high level characters.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine. I can't quite remember what happened, but I think one of the characters threatened him, and he got very angry. One of the things that he used to threaten back was shape changing into a neutronium golem.
Yes.
Which was from Booty and the Beast, a supplement, and threatened about switching off the gravitational field, which would crush anyone within half a mile or something onto his body.
This is just so mad in retrospect.
But before he did that,
of course, it turned out to be a kobold.
So you know what the Billowing Hilltop is. Let's talk a little bit about Grimbold. You have mentioned, well, as we've been playing, that you wanted to try and pick new spells. Well, not new spells, but spells that were new to us. Talk to me a little bit about that.
well, I've been playing sorcerers. It's my favourite class. I usually play a sorcerer. I did try wizards for a bit, but then...
Yeah, usually I think is an understatement, but yeah.
Yeah, wizards. I like the fact they get loads of spells, but then they have to do tedious things like trying to learn them and find the spell books.
Yeah.
And actually, what it boils down to is usually just a few good spells anyway.
Yeah, agreed.
In a sort of D&D situation. So why not play a sorcerer? If you're trying to max out the spells and everything, you usually end up with the same ones. But this time, I thought, why not try some different spells?
Your reputation is that you tend to pick and cast quite defensive spells, so to turn your sorcerer into a sort of invulnerable kind of spectator. No, I know. I'm not going to get into it. But when you say the usual spells that you tend to end up with, what are those usual spells?
Well, I'd just like to say there's a bit of a dungeon myth with my characters. They are vulnerable sorcerers, and I've been in lots of situations where I've hardly got any hit points from dying, and nobody helps my character. So I try not to get into those situations. So you do have to pick a mix of defensive spells and offensive spells. I've got a dragon. I think he's a dragonkind or dragonborn, not dragonborn class, but a dragonkind sorcerer. So he automatically gets some armor protection. So I don't need to do mage arm anymore.
Gotcha. Yes, because that was your go-to. Number one spell.
And then there's things like false life, and I just think, well, instead of taking toughness or trying to max out your constitution to get more hit points, I could do this spell, which would give me more hit points. So that
makes sense too. But I mean, so the usual, I don't know what you would call it, but the kind of spell selection that I would imagine you would normally go for would be, certainly at first level, you'd obviously get your ray of whatever it is, your cantrip damaging thing. And then you'd kind of go for Flaming Sphere, and mage armor, and what else would you normally pick?
Mage armor, shield,
shield.
Burning Hands, magic missile, those kind of spells.
Yeah. But instead, you've gone for slightly kind of different things.
Chromatic orb, which actually does quite a bit of damage. I had to pick Flaming Hands again because it's such a good spell.
Burning Hands.
Burning Hands, right?
Yeah.
But then I've tried this Ray of Sickness, and I've never used that before. I think it's quite cool.
Yeah. And the false life rather than so it's interesting to see.
Actually, the new choice of spells is becoming slightly necromantic, and I've never played a sort of necromantic type.
I thought you quite liked the whole.
Well, I like the idea of sort of undead armies and things like that, but I've never actually
in real life.
Yeah. I mean, I've tried to run clerics before that, raise undead armies, but it never really got round to it. It never really happened. But I like the idea.
Yeah, there's always something better to do.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you think Grimbold's becoming a little bit necromantic. I mean, overall, that's quite interesting. So maybe he starts as a kind of slightly irascible conformist grumpy, cautious little halfling who turns into a sort of evil, cackling, undead puppet master.
Yeah, I don't think he's evil. I
Nah.
don't know if necromantic equals evil, I suppose.
Not necessarily. Well, he's playing around with old dead things. And then in terms of where he's going as a character, are you going to, I presume that are you going to stick with sorcerer? You're not going to multi-class?
No, that's the way to doom. I've thought a lot about it in the past, but it doesn't quite work.
That's 41 years of experience for you.
Exactly. Yeah, you just become sort of not very good at anything, really. You need to stick with it.
Well, it's good because Lucas and Paul are both kind of thinking about multi-classing.
So he's multi-class the thief rogue, is he? Oh, Paul.
No, well, he's not. He's not anything. He's a fighter.
Fighter rogue.
No, not. He hasn't multi-classed yet. He's thinking about doing it later. And he hasn't told me what he was going to pick. He actually was rather mysterious on that score. Anyway, they could listen back to this and realise that your 41 years of experience should tell them that they've made the wrong choices.
The only thing is, Lucas has actually got probably 41 and a half years experience because he actually introduced me to D&D.
Yeah. That's true. He introduced me to D&D as well. Anyway, thanks for the chat. It was very interesting.
Right.
I urge you, please, our readers, to rate, review, and subscribe on your podcast apps of choice, be they Apple Podcasts or Stitcher or Spotify or whatever. And you can find us on Facebook and Twitter or at bellowinghilltop.com. Thanks, Johnny.
Also, like Grimbold as well.
What?
If there's a way of doing that.
How do you? We haven't got individual pages for that kind of thing.
But you could leave a comment say
it has to
Grimbold's
be a
really
little.
Might better than the others.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well. Okay.
Might get extra experience points.
If you get the opportunity to somehow rate or review Grimbold as a character through some means or other, then we encourage you to do that too. Thanks, Johnny.
That's okay.
And without further ado, let's have episode 8, Burn, Baby Burn. Oh, we're here to kill Burple. That's what we are.
So balls thingying. What did I do? I can't remember what
well, you're on a balance beam in the middle of this room. Ave, everybody. Ave. Good evening. Good evening.
Right. Found the room.
Yeah, we are in a room with balls on the bottom. I think it's 10 foot. There's a balance beam.
And you were about to attack me or something, weren't you?
That's right. Burple had shinned his way halfway along this balance beam between the door, or rather the kind of opening in this mouth.
Yeah.
Climbed up the shaft at the end of the blue passageway above the blue lantern. Found a little corridor which you kind of scootled along, and then at the end of that there's a face. The mouth of the face was open. You clambered through the gap in that, and you found a chamber that runs northeast, ends in what looks like a kind of metal door. But the only way to that metal door, at the same level as the entrance you came in, is this sort of balance beam, and then 10 foot below you, the floor is covered in these metal spheres. And as we left things, you got halfway across. Parker, Sessions, and Cuthbert are kind of lurking in the corridor outside this chamber.
I'm sure I have a rope tied to me.
You do have a rope tied to you, yeah. And Grimbold was hiding at the back, although he might be sort of moving up to join you. And as we left things, the walls have got this kind of honeycomb pattern on them, and that honeycomb pattern has revealed itself to be some sort of projectile mechanism, and it's fired loads of balls at Burple.
Yeah.
So Burple, I'm going to roll now to see whether or not you're hit by any balls. Let me just check the roll. Let's just see what happens. Okay, this may not be so bad.
It will.
I mean, it wouldn't have been, but I have had 2 weeks obviously to work on it, so it's significantly more lethal than it was when you triggered it. Okay, hitting armor class 21, that's going to be a hit, is it not, Burple? Yes. So you take some bludgeoning damage as all these balls slam into you. You take 2 points of bludgeoning damage, and you need to make a dexterity save, DC 13.
Yes, I thought that was coming. Dexterity save, DC 13.
Yep.
No. Oh,
And
damn.
you fall.
Oh, God.
You're knocked off the balance beam by the spheres.
Never to be seen again.
And you fall 10 feet to the iron balls, which means you take a d6 falling damage.
Dan is surrounded by
Let's
balls.
just put that in now. So you take a further 5 points of falling damage, and you're lying in the balls.
If I remember correctly, I had tied a loop around the balance beam.
Yeah, so you'll fall sort of
And
in a
around me.
swing. Yeah. Oh, I'm prepared to allow that. So what? So you sort of fall off, but are suspended.
Yes.
Yeah. How much slack did you put in that rope then?
Well, enough to kind of stand up.
Right. Enough to stand up. So if you hang around your waist and it's enough to stand up, that's about
and
3
walk.
feet.
Yeah.
So your nose is brushing against some balls.
So you're hanging 3 feet below this balance beam, swinging, penduluming backwards and forwards. And let's have initiative. Let's roll for initiative.
The large troll comes and uses you in the outer.
Let's roll for initiative.
So I'm assuming I don't take that falling damage.
You don't take the falling damage.
Right.
You just take the crushing damage as the rope tightens around you and destroys your kidneys. Okay, so let's start one at a time. Let's run our way round. So, Burple, what's your initiative?
17.
Okay, and what does Sessions get?
An 18.
Cuthbert.
Cuthbert gets a 19.
Grimbold.
14.
Wow. Okay, Grimbold gets a 14. Okay, so that leaves me with Parker.
Parker gets a 10.
10 for Parker. Cuthbert, what do you want to do?
What I'm going to do is climb through the face thing.
Okay, so you climb through the face thing.
Into the passageway, and I'm going to have to hold on to myself as I laugh.
Yeah.
That'll be a move, and then I think what I'm going to do is then I'm going to tie myself, I'm going to steady off and tie myself
Bloody hell.
to the
how many ropes are we
You have to do that.
I'm not going to have anybody holding on to the other end of it. I'm literally doing it so it's around the beam and around me, so if I fall the beam holds me. Yeah, that'll be my round.
That's your round. Okay, so what about Sessions? What does Sessions want to do?
So I have the other end of the rope, yeah?
You have the end of Dan's rope, yeah.
Okay, so I will shout. I should pull. I was going to say pull or drop, so I will start pulling.
Okay, so I don't know if I can get to the mechanics of this.
I'm not very strong.
Well, not only that, but it's like, what are you pulling? If you're pulling Burple, then he will sort of swing towards you. And then
there's a loop. There's a loop
so
around the thing, and he's pulling that loop, which
so
is
you're like
another dangle going down to me.
So you're like a curtain. So he's pulling
I'm trying to pull you,
and he's pulling you back. Okay, I'm not going to get into friction, but I'm going to say that because I suspect there is some. I'm going to say that you can pull
Just
Burple.
make the balance beam really smooth.
I tell you what, you can make a strength check, Sessions.
You don't want to pull him off.
And you want to please. You're looking for a 10. A 10 pulls Burple, let's say 2 squares towards you, under 10, and you just don't have the strength in your tiny hobbity frame to move.
Okay. Well, I get an 8.
Okay, so you sort of lean
My
back.
tiny hobbity strength.
But the friction of the rope as it goes around in its loop and all of that kind of stuff, and Burple's weight, you're too much to move. And let's move on to Burple himself.
Well, Burple. Oh, okay. So what's the deal about climbing back up here?
It's not particularly tricky. Make an athletics check, DC 10, to get yourself swung up so that you've got your hands, you're clinging onto the balance beam from below and you pull yourself up.
It's going to be one of those.
You fuck that up. Fuck that up.
You got a 6 the first time and a 5 this time.
It's that thing when people stand on a loop of rope and they're like going backwards and their feet are going backwards and forwards really quickly. Like
Yes.
a rope bridge. So you're frantically just kind of that real wobbly thing going on, trying to grab, not helped by the fact that the Sessions is trying to pull at the same time. At the back, doing nothing, Grimbold.
I don't really know what to do.
Pull.
You could, in theory, step forward and grab hold of the rope running between Sessions and Burple and help pull him in.
I think Sessions perfectly capable of pulling in Burple.
But he's not.
Okay.
He's just tried.
Oh.
I'm glad you're paying attention, Johnny.
Yeah.
Sorry.
He's lying down. His eyes are asleep. He's in his special pajamas.
I'll tell you what I was doing. To be honest, I was looking up how to add a +1 short sword to my character sheet. That's probably a bit of a sore point. Anyway,
Especially if you don't have it.
I couldn't work out how to do it in Hero Lab, so I wasn't really listening. So what happened?
You spent 5 minutes trying to equip a thing that you don't have.
Oh, please don't start.
What do you like at meetings at work?
And you're standing there, are you, Grimbold?
Yeah, Johnny. So, Johnny, tell us about the plans that you've reviewed the plans, right? So, tell us about the plans. Sorry, I was thinking about goblins.
Yes, Lord Vader, you may start your landing.
Landing.
So what happened? Session failed to.
Grimbold, so you're standing on the pressure plate, Grimbold, is that right?
No, can you explain this? Oh, that's a pressure plate, is it?
Really?
Sorry, I missed the beginning.
That was last
session.
That was last time. It wasn't the beginning.
Can you explain this? There's a pressure plate, yeah?
The patient's all prepped for you, Doctor. Patient?
Right, how did you get past the pressure plate? You just went around the side of it.
Stepped over it, it's not very big.
Okay, and then there's this gaping hole here.
In where your memory should be. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And so what happened? Burple fell in. Sessions tried to hold him.
Burple's hanging from a rope off the balance beam because he tied himself off first. He steadied off in front of everybody, and is now dangling above these metal balls. You don't know what's going to happen when it's metal ball time again.
And Session tried to pull him in and failed. Right.
There's a rope coming out. You step over, you grab the rope, and you pull.
It's 5 minutes. Never going to get back.
Strength check.
Yeah.
To move.
Yeah, I know. It's just
back to the entrance.
And do you really need help at the moment?
I do have work in the morning.
Well, I'm assuming that these balls are going to fire at me again.
Have you taken any damage?
Yes. Only 2 points.
You really weren't paying attention.
No.
2 points.
Yes, but that's just one round. You don't know what else is going to happen and how long I might be stuck here. With the way that I'm rolling.
We're in the first round.
I'll move up to there without stepping on the pressure plate.
Yeah.
Grab the rope and then make a strength check. I'm pretty
DC 10 strength check. Well, give it a shot.
Oh,
10.
Done it.
Yes.
Okay. So Burple, you can move yourself 2 squares back. Yeah. Great.
And then I'm going to move back.
Parker.
Still holding the rope or not holding the rope?
Who, me?
No, I let go.
Okay, that doesn't actually affect anything. It just means, I'm assuming that your end of the rope.
You're on the beam, right? You're back on the beam. Is that right?
I'm presuming that the end of the rope, somebody stands on it or something to stop it falling into the pit.
I'll hold on to it.
I'm hanging underneath the beam.
Yeah.
I'm hanging.
I was assuming I was still holding the rope.
Yeah. So you're going to pull as well, Graham?
Okay, so Sessions
I
is
already
still
pulled
holding.
this round.
Yeah, it's Parker's go.
Oh, Parker, are you going to pull me off? Or are you going to just leave me hanging?
So what is that? What are we actually trying to achieve here?
The general sense was that there is a door at the other end of this balance beam, Parker.
Yeah, there's a door at the other end, right?
There's a door at the other end that Burple was trying to get to, yeah.
Okay, so the thing that I'm trying to get at is, do we want to progress forward here, or is the first attempt that we're going to make is to get Burple back up onto the beam?
The first thing that you're going to make is to pull Burple back out of the room, and then we will basically regroup and decide what to do. But we know what the room does now.
would it help if I now also pull on this rope and try to pull?
Yeah, you can pull me.
Purple up.
Yeah, you can pull me 10 feet, surely.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
have a go.
Yeah, I failed.
So it's a strength check, right?
DC 10
Yeah.
strength check. Yeah. Okay, you
21.
aced it. Very nice. So you can pull Burple another. I'm going to be super generous and say 3 squares.
Okay. Well, move yourself, Purple.
Well, because
Yeah,
you're,
so are
you're
you
stronger than Sessions and you rolled a 21, so I'm just being nice.
So I need to make a athletics check to get back up.
You do.
Yeah.
But before that happens, there is motion within the balls.
Thought there might be.
Yeah, you can hear, guys. You can the balls start I don't know how to describe it, but there is something beneath the surface of the balls clearly moving, and it looks like it's moving from the path of the way that the balls are being disturbed on the surface. You think that this whatever it is that's beneath the surface of the balls is moving towards you.
Right.
Yep. And it's kind of the motion starts. About 15 feet from the end of this chamber, and by the time that the movement has stopped, it's about 15 feet from you guys. So it moves about 20-25 feet.
Okay.
And the other thing that happens is that kind of Burple and Cuthbert, all around you, you can hear laughter, kind of
Okay.
kind of echoey, kind of ethereal, slightly childish laughter.
Okay.
Cuthbert, what do you want to do?
Get out of
Cuthbert's
the way.
Cuthbert is not going to get out of the way.
You can go on. You had to remove your loop to get past me.
Is going to.
Oh yeah. One thing to bear in mind, by the way, is of course that the balls did not trigger until Burple was basically halfway across.
I think Cuthbert's going to get out the +1 sword that he was lent so kindly by Grimbold, and try and take a kind of a full defensive position. So he's going to try and steady himself on this 3 foot wide shaft,
Okay.
and make sure that he's ready to receive whatever comes his way.
But Burple is correct in the sense that you've got a loop of rope running underneath the balance beam. Yep.
Yeah, and he has, and I've got to unloop myself before
Yeah.
I can get past
Yeah.
him.
Exactly. So you're drawing a sword, and you are getting yourself set, as it were.
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
ready
what
in
does
action to whack
What does
everything.
Sessions want to do?
Basically
So you're
blocking
readying.
my exit.
Yeah.
Basically blocking my escape.
No, I'm not blocking your escape.
Yeah, you are.
And you're readying what exactly, Paul? Sorry.
Ready to hit anything that comes at me.
Okay. Sessions?
Yeah, am I holding him up still?
No, nobody's. Burple is suspended by the loop over the balance beam. The rope that you're holding onto, or Parker is now holding onto rather, just pulls that loop of rope along the balance beam. It's not required to keep Burple suspended.
Right. Okay. I will delay. I will get ready in action to withdraw.
Okay. And now it's Burple.
Okay, I shall make another
Yeah.
attempt at athletics. 12.
12 is good enough. You're up. You steady yourself.
Can I move?
Yeah, you could. That's a move action to haul yourself back up onto the beam. So you've got another action. You could
Can
use
I
a dash
can
action
I
to move.
push Paul off the balance beam so I can get out of the room?
You could try. It would be an opposed athletics check.
Oh, but I would have surprise, right? So I would be rolling at advantage, right? Because he wouldn't expect me.
Although he is ready in action to strike anything that attacks him. So depending upon how you interpret that, it could all get extremely nasty extremely quickly.
Okay,
I'm feeling a bit twitchy.
What are my prospects of getting past Paul?
They're not great. Paul probably kind of has to back up for you to get past him.
Or can if he ducked, for example, I could go between his legs.
You could. Well, you're still tied to the rope.
Yeah,
You're still tied to the beam. So It's a horribly tangled mess if you try and go past. Cuthbert's tied to the beam too.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty complicated. You probably need to free yourself from your rope.
Yeah. Probably would.
Why don't you just run down the end? Someone get down the end.
Well, down the other end, past the balls, which knocked me off the last time, put me in a kind of dangly position with the monster right beneath me.
Yes.
Sounds like something you would do. I'm going to... What does heroism do? It is imbued with bravery. Until the spell ends, the creature is immune to being frightened and gains a temporary hit points equal to your spellcasting ability modifier at the start of each of its turns. I'm going to do heroism.
Okay. And now it is Grimbold.
Well, I don't know what to do. I mean, no, I'll just stand there, do nothing. I'll look down the corridor, and see if anyone's sneaking up behind us.
Parker.
So what I will do is I will do my shillelagh.
Yep.
And get my quarterstaff and ready an action to block. Well, to basically, if Sessions moves away, to move into his space, and if this thing comes up, to bop it.
Gotcha.
That's my plan.
Okay. Right. There is more movement beneath the surface of these metal balls. It's not really moving towards you anymore. It seems to be sort of generally moving around in an area about 15-20 feet away from you. And there's more laughter. Something kind of appears at the other end of the chamber. Those of you with enough eyesight, I guess. Well, actually, it sort of glows, to be honest. So potentially you can see it. It appears sitting on the balance beam at the far end. And what it is a kid. But not a normal looking kid. The kid is spectral. It looks like a 13-year-old farm boy. The head is over at an angle that's unnatural, like a broken neck.
Broken.
Yeah. It's got unusually long black fingernails, and his eyes are kind of weirdly kind of sort of slightly kind of demoniac glare, but there's also a kind of humor in there, kind of laughter.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just sort of sitting on the beam, sort of looking perfectly relaxed and sort of laughing. And just looking at you. And what do you want to do? Well, I think we can drop out of initiative sequence at this point because there's nothing immediate going on.
It's like Gollum.
Spectral, though.
What I'm going to do is I will undo the rope that's holding me up. Or
Yes.
That's tied around the post, so Purple Herpish can run away.
Yep.
And then I'm going to retie it, and then I'll make my way forward, very carefully, bracing myself to be hit.
How far? Yeah. So, and are you on your hands and knees, or are you standing?
Yeah, hands and knees, bracing myself to be hit by one of these things.
Okay, so you've got a loop around the beam, you're on your hands and knees, and you're very gently inching your way forwards along the beam.
Yeah.
This apparition watches you with interest.
Okay.
Is anybody else doing anything? No?
They're waiting for me to be hit and killed and eaten and spat out.
Well, nothing happens to you, Cuthbert. This kid watches you approach.
Okay, keep going.
He's sort of... The more you inch towards him, he's sort of encouraging you. He's sort of going...
So I will basically move up to behind Cuthbert.
Okay. So Cuthbert, have you moved up a little bit further?
Yeah.
And when you do, balls shoot out of the walls.
Okay.
And the kid starts laughing again. The balls attacking you, Cuthbert, hit armor class 14. Is that enough?
That's not enough.
So you're not hit. The balls hitting Parker hit armor class 23. Natural 20. And so you, Parker, are hit for some bludgeoning damage. You're hit for 5 points of bludgeoning damage, and you need to make a dexterity save, DC 13. Actually, did he say you were crawling along, Parker?
Yes.
So you can make that save with advantage.
Okay. Dexterity. Both failed.
You're knocked off the beam. It's a knockout. And you're dangling from the beam. And that's pretty much where we stand. We'll use the old initiative sequence if we need to go back into it. So you're dangling. Cuthbert was unhurt. This kid is laughing.
Yes.
And he kind of beckons a bit to you, Cuthbert.
So I keep going.
Yeah, you keep going. He's going, come on. I'll go, hello. He says, I've been here for decades.
What's your name?
Alastor Land is my name. I was punished. I was punished for abandoning my family in a time of need. I can't go back out. I'm not able to leave the way you came because of my curse. But I am able to push through here, and he points behind him at this metal door.
Oh, what's behind there?
It's a glorious, glorious chamber, strange carvings, and there's a pillar of air.
Ooh.
There's a catch on the other side of that door, and that opens it without a problem, but you can't reach it. Only I can reach it.
Why didn't you open it?
I can open it, but
Would you open it for me?
If you did something for me, yes.
What can I do for you?
My curse will be lifted. If my bones are taken from here, and he kind of gestures, indicates down below him into the pit of metal balls.
Yeah.
If you were to take my bones from here and reunite them with the bones of my family, the curse would be lifted.
That sounds fairly reasonable to me.
And then I could go through the door, and I could open the catch for you.
Yeah.
Where are the bones of his family?
They're in graves. They're all dead now. They lie in the graves on our farmstead, which is near Diamond Lake.
Okay.
If you were to do this for me, I would be free, and I would be happy to let you through this door.
Okay, so why don't you show me where your bones are?
Oh, I can't move from here, really.
Do you know exactly where your bones are?
No, I just know they're down there.
So I'd have to go down.
There's something down there.
There's something down there.
Yeah, something nasty.
Oh.
And that you would need to destroy it, and then you could get the bones. There are other things down there because other people have tried this journey
And failed, I imagine.
They all fail.
They all fail. What does this nasty thing look like?
I don't know. It's like a kind of a worm, but kind of like with sort of claws.
A worm with claws.
That's the kind of thing.
Is it big?
Um,
Is it bigger than me?
No, it's a bit big, maybe a little bit bigger than you. Not. It's big for a worm.
Yeah, well, worms tend to be quite small. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. That sounds like a good idea. If it's all right with you, I'd like to go back and have a chat with my friends, and we'll figure out how to do this for you.
Oh, sure. I am quite literally not going anywhere. I'll just sit here.
Okay.
I'll be here watching over you, and then he disappears.
Okay. All right. Well, I will gently make my way back.
And more balls. Armor class 19.
Yeah, that hits.
It seems to be just that square.
And
I am crawling, so can I get an advantage on?
well, we'll do the damage first. You take 6 points of bludgeoning damage,
yeah.
and then you add advantage. You can make your DC 13 dexterity save.
Okay, 6 points of bludgeoning damage. That's just recorded as normal damage, isn't it?
Yeah. This is just a type of damage, yeah.
And then a DC. It's a dexterity save, yeah?
Yep.
And I will roll the first roll. Ooh, that's a fail. So the second roll an advantage. Yes.
Yeah, that's more like it. Okay, so you hold on.
Yeah.
Okay, you take a bit of damage,
Yeah.
and you keep going.
Yes.
Parker, what does Parker want to do? Parker, you want to zoom back?
Well, I've got to do an athletics check, haven't I, to
You've got...
climb back up again.
Oh, you hate to see it, but Parker's rope is stopping Paul's rope going past.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Well, let me just try my athletics check.
Yeah.
Oh, God. It's a 6.
Welcome to my world.
Well, I rolled a 20 at the start, and then since then, nothing over a 10. That's the way it goes.
Well, we're not in round
law of
sequence.
averages.
There is disturbance in the balls, but there's nothing. There's nothing going for you, as it were. So we can allow you to sort of make your exit, but you do need to kind of hustle because you're still in the zone that looks like it's triggering ball trouble.
Yeah. Can we dangle a kind of sorcerer down and see if that kind of attracts, like a bit of bait on a fishing rod? All right then, Parker. Let's get going. Come on, get up.
Well, you could unrope yourself, Paul, and then go past him.
Or you could cut his rope.
Oh, you could cut past rope.
What the hell is going on here? So, second try is also just.
Well, that's a whole
flailing
round, so I'm
around.
afraid we've got more balls. Only Cuthbert is potentially hit, but he missed.
Rolled off a 17.
Rolled off the 17. Parker has failed. Everybody's failed. It's
I haven't tried pulling.
somebody could try pulling. No, because they didn't leave a rope behind. They're self-propelling. So
Yes.
Parker, you better get. You got a chance to redeem yourself, Parker. Here we go. This is going to be a success.
Oh yes, there you go. Natural
That's more
20.
like it. Okay, so you ace that, and then you've got a move action.
Right.
So you can
well,
scurry like 2 or 3 squares back towards the door if you wish.
so is that our plan?
Why don't you just stay there and get hit by the balls? I think that's probably a better plan.
Well, or move on through.
No, but we have to go into the balls to find the bones,
Yeah.
deal with the monster that's in the balls, to then go and take the bones back to his farmstead,
Yeah.
so that he will open the door for us.
Yes. The next thing to do is going to be try and entice this creature to come out.
Yes.
Maybe we should start. So actually, I know what I'm going to do. So I'm going to move to there. So that's the end of my go, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that should do.
Right. So what have we got, guys, to deal with these?
Cuthbert, are you moving back?
Yes, I think I will. I want to.
You feel
move
that
out-
you're still in ball triggering danger zone.
Yeah, exactly. I want to move out of ball zone. I don't want to be splurged by a bunch of balls.
Okay, so you move back as far as you can, and you are no longer hit by balls. So we can stop going person by person. We can.
Yeah,
just
let's
talk
have an
about-
agreement how we're going to deal with the
Yeah,
worm.
exactly.
Right. Well, I think we should. I don't know. We should throw some firebolts or something in there and basically encourage it to come out and attack us, so that we can actually attack it back.
Mike, the pit. What's the ground look like underneath this? Is there a floor that covered in
There's
balls?
no
or
floor.
is
The floor is balls.
the floor is balls?
As far as we can tell.
Yeah.
So we don't know what's underneath them in the way of surface. So just dropping down would be.
You don't know how far the balls go. I mean, they could go down. I don't know.
There's a disturbance in the balls, though, so which means that whatever it is moving around inside the balls.
Yes.
How are we going to? We're not really going to be able to fight in the balls, are we?
Somebody make a perception check. No, make an intelligence check. Just a straight intelligence check.
19.
11.
Well, 19 is good. Parker, your sense looking at the balls is that although they form a solid surface, they would be quite difficult to move around on, and you feel like it's quite easy to come a cropper. If you're trying to sort of move around on the surface of the balls, you suspect that were you to lose your footing, you could get quite kind of knocked over quite fast. Yeah? So it's not just a question of only being able to move slowly. It's a question of having to keep your footing and avoid stumbling and getting yourself kind of knocked over.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like it's like a soft play area, isn't it? Except
It's like
with
a
metal
soft
balls.
play center from hell. Yeah.
So we need something to attack this worm that doesn't involve melee combat down in the balls unless it comes onto the shaft. We need some form of bait, or we need to be throwing things at it from distance, from range. So, I reckon we've all got to be in here. Yeah, we've got to be in here. So, is anybody else going to come in?
Well, come in.
Hang on. So, as a cantrip, meaning I have an unlimited number of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
I have Thunderclap.
Oh, for a moment there, I thought you were going to say, I have Mage Hand.
Well, I do.
So, how many of them can you get at once?
Yeah, exactly. No, I have... No, but I do have Thunderclap. Now, Thunderclap does... you create a sound that can be heard up to 100 feet away.
Mm-hmm.
Each creature within range other than you must succeed on a Constitution saving throw or take 1d6 thunder damage.
Ah.
So I could just basically, in theory, if this thing is in the room, it will penetrate the balls. And I could just keep doing them until it dies.
Yeah. I
Go
can't.
for it.
But you guys all need to kind of move more than 100 feet away from me.
Grimbold's already gone. Burple starts outlining his plan, and the first thing he hears is Grimbold shinning down the road, shinning down the chain.
Because I'm assuming that if you start doing Thunderclap, it's going to come out and start attacking us. And then at that point, presumably, we can then also hit it back using ranged weapons or...
That's up to you. If you want to stand there taking the damage along with the creature, that's absolutely fine.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm saying I will move to here, for instance.
No. It's 100 feet.
It's 100-foot radius of me.
Oh, I see. Now I understand. So we've got to all move 100-foot radius away from you.
Yeah. So basically, you have to move.
Everybody has to get the hell out of Dodge.
Yes.
Go back down the corridor. Go back down the shaft into the other room, leaving Burple to do his work.
Well, let's do that. I mean, it sounds a very good plan.
Right. So Burple, are you going to go for this?
Yeah. If everyone, I'll just stand like 20 foot back from the door.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, and you cast it. Everybody else is heading back down, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and what's the saving throw?
Must use a Constitution saving throw or take 1d6 thunder damage.
And the DC is?
The DC is going to be 13.
Okay, so you cast the first one. Yep.
Yep. Ping.
Ping. And how much damage is it?
1d6. So
roll that damage.
I should roll that damage. Like this. 2 points of damage.
Okay, there's some disturbance under the balls. About halfway up the chamber, the balls start rapidly moving around.
Okay.
Do you want to do another one?
Yes. If they're not coming towards me, yes.
Yep.
So ping.
That's right. Let's make a saving throw.
I roll the
Okay,
D6.
and another D6.
1.
Okay.
Oh, rubbish, aren't you?
Yeah. Wait a second.
Cowardly rubbish.
Cowardly rubbish. Yeah. We'll accept
Well, that's enough to flush this thing out.
Oh, okay.
And it appears, it sort of surfaces where you can see it. It's like a kind of multi-tentacled green worm monster. I don't really have a great description of it. It looks like it's got a kind of fleshy, segmented, wormy body, and then it's got tentacles, and it kind of looks like a sort of beak in between those tentacles at the top. So it sort of comes out through the soft play area, and it starts to undulate its way along the room towards you, across the surface of the balls. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And it looks extremely cross. I mean, you can kind of hear it, and I'm saying you can just maybe see it at the angle that you're at.
Okay.
You want to do another one?
Yes, let's do another one. I'll do another one and then move.
That one doesn't seem to affect it.
What, the new one?
The new one, yeah. It
Oh,
seems
because
to
it's
save.
Okay. But then I shall move.
Yeah. The next thing that happens, since we're not sort of in round 6, we're just kind of running in alternate because it's only me and you. You can hear it start sort of scrabbling. You think it might be trying to climb up the walls at your end of the chamber.
Yeah. Okay.
What do you want to do now?
So I'm going to do one more and move to the rope.
Okay. Yeah.
For 6 points of damage, assuming that it saves.
Yeah.
It fails.
It fails.
6 points.
Okay. It sort of squeaks. It's sort of... And you can kind of hear
Excellent.
scrabbling and slithering. You see it appear. It's in the. You can see it through. If you're standing at that end of the passageway, everybody else is down. You can see it through the mouth, and it looks like it's reluctant to emerge. So it's climbed up the walls. Clearly, it's kind of half on the wall, half on the balance beam. It doesn't seem to have eyes. It seems to be writhing its tentacles around. It seems to be in some distress. But it looks like it's reached the edge of its territory.
Shall we do another one?
Leave.
Well, I want to be careful here. It
Yeah,
looks like it's hesitating or resistant to leaving. You don't know what might happen if you were to face it with no choice but to leave. But we'll see.
Okay, well, I'll do another one.
Okay, another one.
Yes.
Okay. That doesn't affect it. Okay, so that last thunderclap, Purple, you're at the end of the corridor looking down. Everybody else is down below you, and it's come out.
Okay.
Do you want to roll? Should we roll for initiative?
Okay. Really?
Well, you have a round. You can decide to clamber back down or hit it again. But
Well,
if you don't do that, we're going to have to roll for initiative and see who gets to move towards each other fastest.
Okay, I want to do a spell.
Yeah, you can do whatever you like. You've got a round, and then we'll have initiative.
Okay. I'm going to do Dissonant Whispers on it. So pick one creature within range that can hear you. The range is 60 feet. Yeah, 60 feet. That's fine. It's so it must make a DC 13 Wisdom save.
Yes. Okay. It fails that save. Natural 2.
So then it takes 12 points of damage. So on a failed save, it takes 3d6 psychic damage and must immediately use its reaction, if available, to move as far as its speed allows away from you.
It doesn't matter.
Perfect.
Oh,
Because-
well,
Killed it.
You killed it.
12 points of damage has killed it.
Yay!
It writhes and collapses.
Excellent.
Well done,
Yay.
man.
Clapping.
Very nicely done.
I'm clapping. I'm clapping.
What?
I'm
clapping
clapping
down.
down. That was a.
What?
I think we all clapped. Didn't you clap?
Makes a serious difference having a kind of competent, effective spellcaster.
Incredible, isn't it?
I think we could freely go and find the bones, can't we?
You can go and you can. You have vanquished the thing. This kid, Alastor Land, the spectral kid, has reappeared by the time you get back to the thing, and he's sort of smiling benignly at you and kind of laughing. Well
Okay.
done. Well done.
I go back.
Okay, and you lower yourselves down. What are you doing?
Okay.
I think that basically whoever goes down, Paul, you're brave. You'll go down, and we'll tie a rope round you. Two
Yes.
tugs basically mean pull me up.
Mm-hmm. I would like the other end of the rope not to be held by Dan or Johnny.
I'll hold
Sorry,
it.
by
Yeah,
like
somebody strong.
or Brave or
Well, Parker's strong.
I'll hold the end of the
The
rope.
trouble
I
is his
trust-
eyes glow and he's green.
I trust Parker
Yeah.
more than I trust Grimbold or Burple Herpish. So I will.
Frankly,
Slander.
I'm quite offended.
That's
yeah,
fine.
me too.
What we could do is I could cast my illusionary self and wander around to see if it provokes anything.
That'd be interesting.
Also annoying Johnny.
Yes. No, the fact is, there's nothing down there, Graham. Waste of a spell.
Apart from the bones.
Well,
we need
what do you
But
want to
we'll
do?
rest in a minute, so it'll be fine.
that sounds a great idea. Sessions, why don't you do that?
No, I think you should go down there, Cuthbert. Come on. You are brave after all.
Not brave, but foolhardy.
Yeah, foolhardy.
Okay, so one end of the rope to Parker,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and then I will let myself down.
Mm-hmm.
It's not yourself you let down, it's us.
Yeah. It's,
I know. Yes, I
letting
get it.
everybody down. Okay, so you find the following things. First thing that you find at his instigation, and he kind of getting closer. You find a relatively intact, small humanoid skeleton.
Mm-hmm.
About 3 foot down below the surface of the balls. Moving around on the balls is really difficult, but you think as long as you're kind of cautious, you don't exert yourself, you're not at risk of having to sort of steady yourself, as it were.
Yeah.
You also find some other bits and bobs because there are other kind of as you sort of sifting through these balls. You don't know how far down they go, but after you've cleared about 3 or 4 feet, you just think, my God, these things could go down forever. You just don't know. But all of the stuff that's interesting was in about the first 3 or 4 feet. You find some sort of rather unfortunately decomposed, kind of, I suppose, by this point, desiccated corpses.
Mm-hmm.
But they have got some stuff on them. First of all, you
Well,
find...
I mean, I'm just wondering whether we play.
Well, okay. So, and then Cuthbert returns.
Laden down with stuff.
with some bones. Look what I found. I found some bones.
Yeah.
Detect
There's
magic.
nothing else down there at all.
Detect magic.
Actually, I
don't
have.
honestly think you're going to be able to rummage around in this thing where people are basically supporting you with ropes.
Yeah.
Watching
and
you.
also have the dexterity, watching you to then oh look, that looks interesting. I'll stick that in my pocket because I've just basically ripped it off some decomposing
The idea of
corpse.
Cuthbert sifting through this stuff with people kind of looking over him with ropes, controlling him, it's like one of those things in the amusement arcade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
So I think we'd have to see some stealth checks going on if you want to do that.
Guys, relax. Everybody relax. In this instance, we don't need to worry because Paul, the only thing that's of any kind of proper value is a suit of scale mail, which even you will struggle to pretend is something else. There's a rusty longsword that just looks rusty.
Okay. And that's it?
How are you declaring everything, Paul?
Yes.
47 gold pieces, 7 silver pieces, 1 platinum piece. And when you've done that and you've got the bones and you've collected everything, he rematerializes and he says, "Remember what I said?
Well, I think that's what we need to do, isn't it?
Reunite my bones with the bones of my family. I can open the catch on the other side of the door, and you can go through to the magnificent chamber behind.
Does
And I shall be free at last."
do the guys who live here recognize his
Sense motive.
name?
Mike. Intuition or whatever it's called now.
Yeah, what is the skill? Somebody tell me.
Looking it up.
Insight.
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 Yeah, make an
I've
insight
got plus
check.
4 on insight.
Somebody make an insight check then.
I got
Me
a
too.
4. It's going really well.
14.
20.
Okay, you think he's on the level.
Do any of the guys here who live in this area recognize his name?
Can Burple, Sessions, and Grimbold make straight intelligence checks?
4. It's just it's consistent. I had to say it is consistent.
Consistently rubbish.
Oh, 20. Natural 20.
Sessions, you recognize the surname. You know that there was a family that you've heard of called the Land family who ran a small kind of farmstead about 10 minutes outside the town, actually out on the road out to here. So it's on your way back. If that's the homestead that he's talking about, then that would make sense. But you don't know his name. You haven't heard of him.
Okay.
And they're not there anymore.
Your recollection is that it's long fallen into ruin, and that the family that were there are all died of the Red Death, which was a plague that took a load of people.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll hightail it down to his farmstead.
Okay. It's the late afternoon on Moon Day. You could travel in the dark, and it would take you. You could travel overnight and be there sort of in the early hours of the following morning, or you could wait and go the next day. What do you want to do?
Let's get on with it, I'd say.
Take a long rest,
Yeah.
head over to the next day.
You travel through the snow. It stopped snowing. It's bright and crisp day. You work your way back down the company road towards town, and about 10 minutes from town, up on the ridge, you can see town below you. Nothing looks particularly untoward. You see off to the side, you follow down a little kind of single farm track, and you find yourselves at the land homestead, or at least where Sessions believes it to be. And as you wander up towards the homestead, which sits on its own little kind of ridge, looking down over an open area of ground, you come across the grave site. There's an immense copse of fir trees that shade a small, quiet clearing, and it's just where Sessions thought it would be, about 10 minutes to the east of Diamond Lake. There's crumbling walls, there's a seemingly abandoned farmhouse that sort of stands vigil atop a little bluff overlooking the clearing. And it's the sad ruins of what must have been this homestead. And there are 5 grave markers stand in the clearing, each with a different name: Anders, Bernissa, Calderan, Gertia, and Alastor. But open pits yawn from before all 5 headstones, and there are piles of fresh dirt. The snow on the fresh dirt and the rubble that's being cleared is relatively new. I mean, it's been snowing on and off for sort of 2 or 3 weeks now. This looks like there's no more than a few days worth of snow accumulated on the kind of spoil from these, but the graves have been opened. So relatively recently, somebody has been at these graves.
Great.
The markers, Anders Land, 531 to 564. The year now is 595. Bernissa Land, 534 to 576.
Right.
Gertia Land, 563, 576. Calderan, 550, 576. And finally, Alastor Land, which says 552 to nothing. So the headstone had been carved before Alastor died. Yeah. But you're not sure about when he must have disappeared. So you don't know what that date would be. But clearly, there was a gravestone set in the family plot for him with a birth year in it, but no death year. Yeah.
Right.
Somebody give me an investigation check.
We got 15.
Grimbold, you're standing there looking down at this rather kind of dismal scene. You notice something. You notice that going back up the single trackway that you followed down here, there are cart tracks, like a hand cart, not a wagon, not one of those big wheelbarrows, something with a kind of couple of handles and a couple of wheels, and then a couple of stands at one end of a plate so that you could set it down. There are tracks leading away from the gravesite back up the track from whence you came. Has anybody got survival skill?
Nope.
Yes, I do.
Have you now? Why don't you give it a shot?
Yeah, I've got
Otherwise,
2 points in survival.
Let's give that a go. 2. 14.
19.
those are good rolls. You notice something else, you guys. You can see human tracks leading away from the graves and up the little track that runs up the bluff and towards the abandoned homestead. It looks like 5 sets of tracks. But the thing you notice with your really good check is that 4 sets of tracks seem to race back towards where you came from.
1 person up there died. 4 ran away.
We need to quickly investigate the house, I think.
Yeah.
And then go off after the cart.
Yeah.
Mike, I'm just trying to ascertain that the way the cart left was the way that we've come.
Yes, that's right.
Okay. And what is in that direction, other than the cairn that we're exploring?
Well, town. You're on a little track that's
Right.
led away from... So the company road that runs between Diamond Lake and the cairn where you're investigating. You're now 10 minutes from town. This little track is a little spur that runs off that main company road down to the farmstead. So this cart will have been... Looks like it was brought down here and then pushed back up the track to the main road. Where it went after that, you don't know.
Okay, so we'll go and investigate the building very quickly.
Okay. You can see... I've got you on a map so that you can see the whole setup. Who's going up where? As you can see, there's a little track that runs up to the house. Everything seems quiet. Just the kind of... There's the occasional kind of cawing crow. And that kind of... That sort of weird, almost kind of hard quiet that you get on a crisp, sunny day with snow on the ground. Give me another perception check. Now that you've got close to the... You're moving right up close to the corner of the building, right?
19.
19 from Parker as he gets close. You can hear something, Parker. You can hear from inside... So the walls are intact, but the roof is gone. And from within this kind of ruin, you can hear a sort of bestial, relatively high-pitched, sort of squeaky growling sound.
Werewolf?
Doesn't sound like a wolf.
Okay.
Sounds more... Make a survival check or a nature check.
12.
It's closer to the sound of maybe an eagle or an owl or something like that. It's sort of... It's more kind of avian. But sort of with a kind of growly kind of undertone.
Do we get an idea of direction?
Well, it sounds like it's coming from the farther part of the ruin.
I'm going to do a false life spell.
Okay.
So I get 1d4 plus 4 hit points.
Okay.
Can we move again?
Yeah, you can keep moving. You're approaching the southeast corner of the ruin. There, the walls are intact, so you can't see in. You can see, if you're standing at the east wall of the building, that there are some steps leading up to a now destroyed, what looks like a fallen-in door, right at the sort of northeast corner of the building. Anybody gonna move up?
Yeah, I'm moving.
Stay frosty.
I'm also...
Ready to hit something that comes in range.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cuthbert, make a perception check. Cuthbert, you're walking up to the steps.
Oh, Cuthbert.
Oh, Cuthbert. Time for your Betty Buys.
Sorry, I was on mute. Yeah, I'm going to walk up the northeast side to the base of the steps.
Yeah, okay. When you get there, can you make a perception check?
I have made a perception check of 14.
Okay. 14, yeah, this noise is quite proximate now, quite close. You think it's no more than about 15, 20, 30 feet away from you. It looks like it's coming from through this doorway.
Can I poke my head round the corner just quickly, see if I can see anything?
You can't see anything. What you can see is that the doors have caved in.
Mm-hmm.
Let me describe what else you can see.
Medusa.
In the doorway,
Paul says the stone.
at the point where the snow is no longer...
Cockatrice.
There's a point where the snow
Owlbear.
mixes with some sort of sludgy, what you think is blood. And where the door has collapsed in, just sort of sitting on it, there are some kind of chunks of something nasty, chunks of something you think is human that's been sort of rendered or kind of munched.
I'll call out to Grimbold.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's some kind of magic wands up here. Do you want to come and take a look?
Well, me being 8 intelligence, I proceed forward.
And Grimbold,
Well,
you
I
can
have
see
to
it.
play
You
the
can see
character,
in.
you know.
Yeah, you can see in Grimbold. You're now looking through the door. You can see that the doors that were once stood are now on the floor. On them, there is some matter that looks like it's human munched matter.
Yeah.
And there's blood all over the place, but snow has fallen all over it because there's no roof. And you can hear this kind of squeaking, cawing, growling sound, kind of slightly high-pitched, and it's coming, you think, from... you can look into the kind of opening chamber, and then you can see that it opens out to the south, and you think that it's coming from that direction.
You see, I told you there was lumps of flesh here. We should go and
Okay, we'll
investigate.
take my clothes off and roll round naked upon the lumps
Mike,
of flesh.
I've gone
Okay.
round to the west side.
On the west side, in it, yeah. Yeah, you can see that there's a little opening where there was once maybe a window that's collapsed in.
Yeah, and I'm going to go up to that. and
Okay, so you
very
move up and peek through the
carefully
window.
Peek through, yeah.
So you literally so your little green, pointy green head is
Yeah.
poking round the corner of the top of that wall and looking in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And before I do that, I'm also doing
Oh.
a produce flame.
Mm-hmm.
Going to give someone a terrible fright.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You and you're
Green
popping your
pointy
head
head.
round.
Yeah.
Okay. Make the perception check.
18.
Okay. So Parker, what you can see is you can see a little creature. It's an odd thing. It's small. It looks like it might be young. It might be a pup or something. Yeah. Or a cub. It's got. It's a bit like. I can't put this in any more straightforward a way for you, Parker. It looks a bit like a bear and a bit like an owl.
Yeah.
Ooh, what's that? A ghoul?
Fur.
No. Ghast?
A bear owl.
It is in
A
fact.
bear owl, yeah.
Monster. It is. It's basically. It's not canon. It's not something from the rules. It's a monster I've created called the bear owl. Basically, it's an owl with a picnic basket. No, it's. You think
it's a twit to prove.
it's. Is it what? Anyway, it's sort of snuffling around in the ruins of that little bit, and it doesn't seem to have noticed you. But it looks like its head is up, and it's looking over towards the doorway where Grimbold is sort of about to break the plane of the whatever. So it looks like it's been disturbed, and it's squeaking away and looking a little bit agitated.
I don't think I've ever fought an owl bear before.
Looking for his mummy.
Possibly its parents are somewhere else.
Yes.
Very possibly.
Has it got blood on its snout?
No.
Okay.
What's anybody else doing? I'm presuming that you're keeping yourself hidden, Parker.
I am still going to keep myself hidden because
not
so
seeing you.
my understanding is I can see it, but it's thinking, it's wondering what's going on in the direction of Grimbold, right?
Where the other people are clumping about. Yeah.
Where is it exactly?
Well, as you look into the thing, there's a main area of the building, a kind of open area,
Yes.
that takes up about the southern half of the building, and it's sitting pretty much right in the middle of that.
Right. Okay. Well, I will hang back.
Right, can I move in and fire something at it?
We don't know. It's not.
Don't do that.
Hold on.
Excuse me. It's got cute factor.
Hang on.
It might be friendly. It might be
Yeah,
friendly.
it might be friendly.
It might be
I'm gonna
orphaned.
zap it.
It looks tolerably cute. Grimbold, what do you want to do? You can step
I'm
into the
going in
room.
and zapping it.
Don't zap it.
So you're moving in. It sees you as soon as you kind of move through into the room like that. And it looks at you with big kind of puppy dog eyes. Well, beary dog, owl, dog, bear eyes.
Oh, it's still getting a chromatic order up its arse. I'll go, here, little bear, here, little bear.
It looks at you and it kind of goes, and it starts to kind of waddle towards you, looking trusting.
Oh, maybe I shouldn't fry it after all.
It waddles up towards you.
No,
You
actually,
get-
no, I
See
am
what
going to
happens.
fry it.
No. Hold on. Maybe these other people succeeded in killing.
Its
Its
parents.
mother.
You little owlbear. Bzzzt.
If this thing is waddling towards you, Grimbold, it's spotted you, and it's going...
Well, I'm firing a chromatic orb at it.
Okay. Make your roll.
A 9.
A 9. Let me just see whether or not that hits. Okay, you miss it.
Okay.
But this chromatic orb goes like that, and you hear a roar from the northern half of the building.
Of course you do.
And
It's mummy.
let's
Yeah.
roll
Hang
for
on, I
initiative.
haven't got the rest of my go yet.
Okay, what do you want to do? You want to run away.
Tactical movement.
So you're running away.
I'm not running away, I'm just moving behind the fighter.
Okay, and let's have initiative. Right, so Cuthbert, what'd you get?
Cuthbert gets a 17.
Okay, Sessions, what'd you get?
19.
Sessions, you're quite kind of consistently speedy. Burple, what'd you get?
8.
Gentleman's 8. Grimbold, what'd you get?
14.
14. Consistent. Consistently shit. Parker, what'd you get?
An inconsistent, but very good 22.
Whoa, 22. Speedy boots. Okay. Parker, 22. What do you want to do? There's been the roar.
Right, well,
There's been a
first of
roar
all, where's the roar
to the
from?
north. It's if you're looking in, if you were looking in through your little window, it's to the left of you. So it's in the northern part of the building, perhaps in that area that you can't quite see.
Well, so if I look at that line of sight, so that means it would have to be here, right?
When you're
Up
saying
here.
that you're looking in,
That's the
there's one
only
area.
corner.
There's one area that's obscured by the collapsed staircase that you can't see. Is that where you think it might
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move to there,
be? Mm-hmm.
and as I said, I have my
Produce flame spell.
flaming hand. Produce
How
flame
long does it
spell
last?
at the ready. Just have a look.
Or does it last until
lasts
discharged? or
10
something?
minutes until
Okay.
discharged. Yeah.
10 minutes.
It's my hand. It's in my hand. If you don't do anything with it, it's just in your hand. So I can either attack
Gotcha.
with it or I can throw it.
Okay,
So
Sessions.
I'm moving around there, I'm presuming, so that when this thing comes by, it won't see me.
Okay, Sessions.
Oh, I'm going to appear here
Mm-hmm.
and then run and hide in the bush.
And now it's Cuthbert.
Come on.
Well, Cuthbert.
The fighter. Go and bash it.
The roar sounds like the grown-up version of the squeak that this little thing.
Yes, it does. All right, with
Lure it out.
rapier and sword in hand, I'm going to wander to there.
Okay. The roar of this thing has clearly agitated this little creature, and it looks at you with big, beautiful, innocent eyes, and it's trembling with fear.
Okay.
You doing anything else?
No.
Grimbold?
Me again?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go there.
So you're going just inside the doorway.
I'll go in the doorway and then I'm going to fire a firebolt at it.
At what? At the little pup.
Oh,
That little
cute
cub.
little wee bit.
That's trembling
Okay.
with fear and
Give it-
hasn't attacked us.
They're not nice. It's an owlbear. They're like foxes. People think they're friendly. They're not. Right. So
Well, give it a shot.
16.
Yep. How much damage does that do?
This is a vicious creature. Is that a hit?
It's not. It's a baby.
Yes, you strike it full on with your firebolt. How much damage do you do?
6 points.
It combusts. Its fur and its little beak and its lovely little claws and its beautiful little
You wouldn't
giant
think I was vegetarian. would you?
eyelashes
No.
just immolates, and it squeals in its horrible, tiny
dead?
death throes. Yeah.
Are you happy now?
Okay, now I'm going to move. Slink back. Corner.
Slink back in shame.
Exactly. You go and kill this fluffy little creature. And
Fluffy.
It's like stoke the wasp's nest and run away.
Slabs of human flesh there. They're horrible creatures.
There's an even greater roar from round the corner. And now it's purple.
Well, it's definitely a fight to the death now, isn't it? So, I'm going to move in the doorway.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can see into the room. You can see there's chunks of flesh in front of you and the broken down door. You can see Cuthbert standing there, weapons out, and you can see like a little mini, like a teddy bear that's been set on fire, squealing and rendering the fat rendering down into a puddle on the floor. You doing anything else?
I might do heroism, but I will save my spell, I think, for now.
Okay, all done.
Yeah, all done.
Okay, this thing comes screaming around the corner, and it's big, and it stops as it sees its young barbecued, and then it keeps moving, and then it goes.
Free action.
Yes.
Free action to say, if you understand my language, the person who killed your baby is standing outside.
And it howls at you. It's a great big, horrible looking creature. Basically like a Kodiak bear up on its hind legs, but with an owl's beak.
A bear owl.
And it's of my own creation. It's called a bear owl. And it is Parker's round. You hear it lumber past the open window and go past you and round.
Okay, can I? It's got cover when I try and hit it from there, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. You can see the little baby being immolating, and you can just see
The candle.
you can see like a claw and an arm and a foot.
I'm moving into the room to basically the south.
Yeah, and you can now see that, and you can now see it all. You can see the little flaming baby, and you can see the great big monster, and behind it you can see Cuthbert, and behind Cuthbert you can see Burple standing in the doorway.
Yeah, so I'm basically behind the monster on the other side of the monster to Cuthbert.
Got it.
and Burple.
And now it's Sessions.
The Sessions is here. He's he walks up to here.
Mm-hmm.
It's a projected image.
Can you see through the eyes of this projected image?
No.
Right. So you can move it to where you want it to go, but you can't see what it. Okay. You
Yeah,
can't see
which
what
is
it
why
can
I'm edging my way up over here so I can see.
see. Gotcha. Yeah.
Right.
So
And
And the real Sessions is moving up a little bit. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
to get a bit of a better. In fact, he'd probably move up. Yeah, to about there. And that'll be me for this round, I think.
Okay. And then it's Cuthbert. This thing is looming over you, looking very cross.
Yes, I imagine. So I better attack it.
It's 5 feet away from you. It's.
I must move in to attack. I'll attack with the rapier to begin with. Doing.
Getting 6.
Alarm class 11.
That's a miss.
And then I'll attack with the +1 short sword of the east wind.
Oh, hello. 19.
Does that?
That's a hit. Yeah. So at 25, that's a hit.
Okay, so it is then doing this as piercing damage.
Mm-hmm.
Doing 6 points piercing damage.
6 points of piercing damage. Okay.
And then I will move back towards the door.
Okay, so that's your. So you've used a little
You'll
bit of
get
your
attack
movement to get up to it. Yeah, and it gets an attack.
Oh, does
opportunity
it?
as you- yeah.
If
Oh,
you
okay.
move away from its...
Yeah.
Okay, in which case I would
You'll stay where you are.
stay where I am.
Okay, Grimbold. It's an opportunity to run in and really
Come
go
on.
toe to toe.
Now that
I'm
you've
going
kicked
to
us
move
off,
to there, which is the doorway.
Yeah, you can move into the doorway. Yeah.
I've got a clear line of sight to the bear owl,
Yeah, the bear owl. Yeah.
and then I'm going to do a ray of sickness, which is my new spell.
Okay.
ooh, that's
Very
potential
exciting.
to be interesting.
Haven't used in 41 years.
So I've got to roll to hit. This is it.
Yeah.
25. It's a critical.
It is a critical hit. Okay, roll your
So-
damage. And
So I roll 2d8. So it takes 16, and then I roll it again. Ah, shit. 20 points of damage. And it's got to make a Constitution save, DC 13, or be poisoned.
Okay. Let me just roll that. It rolls a 17. It saves against your sickness effect.
Ah. Okay. And then I'm moving back round the corner, out of the doorway.
Okay, so you duck back around the corner, out of sight, and now it is Burple.
Burple is going to do Dissonant Whispers on it. Can it make a saving throw, wisdom saving throw, DC 13?
It rolls a 12 and makes the save.
So, that's disappointing.
I'm sorry.
I think on a successful save, the target takes half as much damage. So it takes half of 3d6. So it takes half of this. Half of 17, so it takes 8 points of damage.
8 points of damage. Okay, yep. Okay, and it doesn't look very well, has to be said. You've piled onto it, but now it's it. It looms over Cuthbert and it roars and it strikes down with its beak, hitting armor class, rolling a
Fail.
1.
So does it lose the rest of its attacks?
Stupid animal. And then it tries to rake you with its claws.
But a fumble, would it lose the rest of its attacks?
No,
No.
it wouldn't. 20.
Yeah, that'll
natural
hit.
20. So that is a hit, and it does the following damage. It does you double the dice, and then is it double everything, or just double the dice and then the thing?
Double the dice, add the bonus once.
Okay, so it does the following scary damage.
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 Oh my God.
As recognised by the International Damage Council, it does 11, 12, 14. It does
15.
19 points of damage. 8, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 20 points of damage on Cuthbert.
Oh my God. Okay.
How's he looking?
Really close to death.
Let's hope we kill it this round then.
Well, it's Parker.
Hurrah! Right, well, I will first of all hit it with the shillelagh.
So with your quarterstaff with the shillelagh spell running.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
16.
16 is a hit.
So 3 points of damage.
About
Okay,
your
and
flaming
the
thing,
second, yeah, and the second one, well, that's the unarmed strike,
Got it.
which is a 10.
10 is a miss.
10 is a miss.
And it's time for
Yeah.
sessions.
Okay.
Terribly, ridiculously.
Save yourself for some healing. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to move to there. No, there.
So you're moving up to the level with the doorway.
Yeah, a bit further. Trying to get a little angle into the room.
You can't really see much. You can't see Cuthbert from where you're standing.
Well, that's a pity. I'll have to see him next, and I'll move into here, just behind him.
So the projected image is moving in right up to Cuthbert.
Yes.
Gotcha. And now it is Cuthbert.
Well, first thing Cuthbert is going to do is do a second wind. How did I know? How did I know? That's just going to give him 10 hit points. Thank you very much indeed. That might rescue him a little bit.
Yeah.
Then he's going to do full round of attacks.
Going for it. Okay.
Yeah, he's going to go for it.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to first hit with the rapier,
Yep.
rolling a
Yeah. Rolling a 4.
second attack with the short sword.
Mm-hmm.
Catch with this. Oh, armor class 13.
Armor class 13 is a hit.
Oh, thank God for that. So the short sword is 1d6 plus 4 piercing. Come on. Yes! 10 points of damage.
10 points of damage, and it is dead.
Oh.
You skewer it with the short sword that runs right into its throat, and it howls as you can only howl as you die, seeing the death of your own baby child. And it slumps forward onto you, Cuthbert, causing 7 points of bludgeoning damage.
I die. Oh God, Cuthbert's not happy. Cuthbert's not happy with Grimbold. There's no need for that.
Why?
Well,
Did fine.
Well, you initiated the combat and then decided to run away.
Oh no. Tactical.
Well, I think it's the
tactical positioning.
slaughter of the small child bear thing.
Yeah.
So what alignment are you? And who do you
Well,
mind?
You can't quite tell.
Well, I mean, the other thing, of course, that occurs to you, I mean, it's in the back of your mind, so you don't need to make a roll or anything, but apparently...
How valuable that owlbear
Yeah,
would
they
have been
are
to
incredibly
train.
valuable. If you can train a baby owlbear to be your companion, they are extremely valuable.
They're evil. Evil creatures.
Right.
Anyway, there we are. Well done.
Thank you very much indeed.
Having a look around.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll have a look around.
Mm-hmm. Loot the bodies.
Give me some investigation checks.
Okay. Investigation check.
How many?
Well, one each. As you root through, as you kind of
Oh God, 9.
sift through the stuff.
16.
20.
0.
20. You find something.
0.
What do I find that I don't tell Grimbold?
But tell everybody else.
But
You
tell everybody else.
find an arm.
Excellent.
Yes.
In amongst all these other bits of kind of munched up person, there is a tolerably intact arm.
Is there a ring on it?
No, but there is a tattoo on the arm.
Ooh.
Diamond Lake locals only. So we're talking Sessions, Grimbold, and Burple. Give me intelligence checks.
It's more difficult for Grimbold because he's an idiot.
15. Steady on.
15's very good,
9.
Grimbold. Grimbold, you know that tattoo.
One
80.
of Durskin's crew.
That tattoo, Grimbold, it's the symbol of a mine owner called Garavin Vest, who was like a greedy mine manager who branded his employees, kind of a badge of status. But Vest was bankrupted by Balabar Smenk, who's as you may recall, is the kind of the big cheese in town now, the guy that's aggressively taken over the failing mines and kind of uses all sorts of underhand tactics in order to in order to sort of vanquish his commercial foes. Yeah. And all of the indentured workers that have this tattoo now work for Balabar Smenk. And you've got something in the back of your brain, Grimbold. It's a giant lump of cowardice.
Owlbear.
Yeah. No, you're set. What you think is that some of that Balabar Smenk has got a kind of gang of heavies that he brought over from Vest when he took over the mine. And they kind of wear that tattoo as a sort of badge of kind of honor. Like they used to be indentured, but now they work for Balabar, and now they're something to be reckoned with. A kind of a gang of kind of thugs that work for Balabar Smenk. They hang out.
Madam Wodge of the Lodge worked for Balabar.
No. Madam Wodge of the Wodge did work for Balabar Smenk as a kind of chief heavy. But now his dirty work is done by these guys. They hang out in the Feral Dog, your favourite pub. And clearly one of them has left his arm behind. So maybe you need to find these guys and work out how to find the bones of the Land family. And I think that's a great place to stop, and we'll pick it up next time. There we go. Well done.
Thank you. That's brilliant. I still want to spank Grimbold around the head.
The Billowing Billowing Hilltop podcast is a Billowing Hilltop production. Dungeons & Dragons is a trademark of Wizards of the Coast. The Whispering Cairn and the Age of Worms are copyright Paizo. The Whispering Cairn was written by Eric Mona. Music is from Kevin MacLeod and Incompetech.com and is used with thanks under the Creative Commons license. Additional music and sound effects come from the wonderful Sirenscape. All other original material is copyright Billowing Hilltop. Role-playing games are all about getting people together, and we use Roll20 as our tabletop, the perfect place to host your game, and Discord to host our chat. Thanks for listening!